Ubiquity, the history of designs we take for granted. Created by Chris Whitwood.
Imagine you are walking across a heath, windswept and deserted, when you find a watch upon the ground. As you examine it, the delicate hands and minute cogs of the intricate mechanism lead you to conclude that this watch did not occur by accident or by chance. Rather, it is the product of a skilled and considered designer. This is the basis of the teleological argument, put forward by the English philosopher William Paley. He argued that just as the complexity of the watch implied the existence of a watchmaker, so too the complexity of the universe implied the existence of a universe maker, or God. It is unsurprising that Paley used a watch in his analogy. In the 18th century, watches were highly valued possessions. Industrialisation was in its infancy, so each one had to be skillfully and painstakingly crafted to ensure it ran accurately and reliably. But what of other products? Those which are not so obviously designed by a skilled craftsman, perhaps because they are mass-produced rather than handcrafted, or because their design, which we see as a common part of the world around us, seems obvious, or because they are so ubiquitous we forget they are designed at all. My name is Chris Whitwood, creator of Ubiquity, the history of designs we take for granted. In this short-form podcast, I'll be looking at the origin, design and development of some commonplace, mass-produced items that we often overlook. To be chosen, each object must satisfy 3 conditions. First, it must have a named designer or designers. Some products may be ubiquitous, but their history stretches back so far as to make the origin of the design impossible to know. Second, it must be a product rather than a material or a process. And finally, the design should have remained pretty much constant since it was introduced. Some of these designs came about through years of tireless research by creators, refining the design or manufacturing process. Some originated through collaboration or by sheer chance. The success of others was only made possible thanks to a transformation in the environment in which that product was used or the impact of external events. Despite their unique and sometimes surprising histories, each product in this series has had an impact on the world around us. Not just in the material world, but the way in which we live our lives and the environmental impact we leave behind. I want to explore the innovation of designs that we rarely take time to consider, to marvel at the ingenuity of the designers and gain a greater appreciation of the ubiquitous products that, though we might not realise it, make everyday life just that little bit better. Thank you for listening to Ubiquity, the history of designs we take for granted. Please like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow the series on social media using the handle Ubiquity_pod on Twitter and Instagram, or search Ubiquity Podcast on Facebook. All episodes will be available on YouTube. Please leave a like and a comment, as I'd love to hear your feedback and your ideas for future episodes. If you want to support the podcast financially, or just say thank you, please visit the Ubiquity Podcast Patreon at patreon.com/ubiquity_pod. Patrons will also gain access to all of the scripts as episodes are released, and will be able to vote on subjects for episodes in upcoming series. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you once again for listening.